social workers. This is Jennifer Luna, your social work career coach, and also writer for the new Social Worker magazine. Welcome to Conversations on Social Work Careers. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about freshening up your career and building your legacy along the way. Yes, I want you to think about your legacy and different ways that you can build it as a social worker. Social workers have such great impact on individuals, communities, and organizations and policies, and every social worker has a legacy. How are you going to build yours? Well, here's some tips. First of all, it's important to know where you are in your career. And it's always great to take a few minutes to think about what stage of your career that you're in, because if you're a longtime social worker like myself, it goes by really quick. And all of a sudden you'll find yourself with 5, 10, 15, 20 years under your belt and not even realize that you're leaving a legacy along the way. So I would first suggest that you think about where you are in your career and what you can do to always be moving forward. After graduation, for the first couple of years, you'll probably be building your skills and knowledge areas and figuring out where you want to apply those in terms of a field of practice or the populations that you want to work with. This is really important because social work is such a broad industry that oftentimes we don't know right away where we're going to end up. And we have the opportunity to work with so many different populations and so many different areas that we touch that you don't really have to know that right after graduation, but you will have a good sense 2 to 5 years out. So as you're thinking about that, I would suggest that you join a professional organization, first and foremost NASW, because we need to support our professional organization, our largest professional organization, the one that advocates for us. But it's also important to look at other organizations that you might want to be a part of. This could be Association of School Social Workers. It could be case managers associations. There's associations, leadership in social work healthcare. So think about those subset areas that you might want to join and how you could participate in those areas through conferences, writing, presentations, and also connecting with your fellow colleagues. The next thing to think about is how you can be a leader in your area of practice. So this might contain things like doing presentations, leading a work group or an initiative, building collaborations with community organizations, or also writing and contributing to the profession in that way as well. Communication skills are so important. And whether you're strong in presenting verbal communications, writing PowerPoint presentations. Some people are afraid of public speaking. I think 75% of the population is afraid of public speaking, but you can always communicate in other ways as well. So if you're the type of person that doesn't like public speaking, but you like putting together a good presentation, well, partner with somebody in your area. And you can partner and submit proposals for conferences and things like that. And you'll still get credit for it on your CV or your resume, and you'll have presentations under your belt. This was a great way to demonstrate your expertise and impart knowledge to the profession. Writing skills are also so important, and there's lots of ways to contribute to writing. These could be as simple as doing a post on LinkedIn, sharing a post with your thoughts about the post that you share. You could write for agency newsletters. You could contribute to blogs, or of course, you can always submit proposals or writings to professional journals and other industry literature that will help you to propel your knowledge and your career. If you don't know how to write a proposal, or if you don't know how to submit to a journal, ask a colleague. One of the things I've learned about social work is that we're all here to help each other. And it never hurts to ask somebody about advice on how to do these things. People love to help each other, and we do need to raise each other up in this profession. Another thing that I'd like for you to think about is joining a professional board or a professional organization as an officer or a leader in the group. These are leaders that we need in our profession, and we also need to, again, lift each other up and nominate colleagues for these positions as well. As you're thinking about leadership positions in the profession, there's also ways to participate in things like being a field instructor. I think in most academic programs, you only have to have 2 years under your belt to be a field instructor. This is a great way to mentor students and share your expertise and knowledge in the field. If you want to take that one step further, apply to your local college to be an adjunct professor. One of the best ways to get this started is to make connections with the local universities and get your CV up to par. There's a great article in the New Social Worker magazine about how to create a CV for different opportunities that you might want to seek. And whether it's being a field instructor, applying to a PhD program, or even if you want to be an adjunct instructor, there's a great article that will help you to tailor your CV for that purpose. And I'll drop the link at the end of the show notes. Some of the other things that you might think about are your legacy and how are you going to pursue opportunities that will contribute to your legacy, and how are you going to articulate that in your professional brand? So one of the first things that I always ask social workers that I'm working with is, what is the number of years experience that you have in the field or with your area of practice? And believe me, just as I said before, those numbers add up. And so one of the best ways to begin thinking about your professional brand is to confidently articulate the number of years experience that you have in the field. And again, this includes field placements, internships, volunteer opportunities, even professional organizations that you've been involved in which pertinent skills or knowledge are gained. So after you've thought about the number of years of experience, think about the major career achievements that you've had. And these achievements don't have to be major awards or things like or recognitions. They could also be achievements like starting a program, starting a group. Perhaps you served on a steering committee or a committee that got a big task done for your organization. Make sure that you have these documented, not just on your resume and your LinkedIn, but keep track of those individual achievements, because those add up. And every achievement that you've had will help you to build a skill that you probably didn't know before. So always be looking for these opportunities and also document them well so that you can keep track of them. There's also a great part of social work that sometimes we don't think about because it comes naturally to us, but CEU opportunities. This is a great way to learn and expand your knowledge, and it's required for licensure. But think about what types of opportunities in CEU that you would like to pursue that will build your portfolio and your knowledge areas. CEUs are such a great way to network and meet people in your industry or your field. And also, the more CEUs that you attend, either virtual or live, you'll get ideas too for doing presentations or writing. So there's much more opportunity in a continuing education workshop than just the subject at hand, but there's networking and building your knowledge of how to do an effective presentation. I next want to talk about lifting each other up. And I've mentioned that a few times in this video, but I want to stress the importance of that. It really means a lot to nominate a colleague for an award or a recognition. And oftentimes, just from my own personal experience of serving on these committees, people don't nominate as much as you would think. And so take some time and nominate someone for either a Social Worker of the Year award, or perhaps being acknowledged by their alumni association. This is such a great thing to have on a resume, and it means so much to the recipients. So take a minute to think about who you could nominate. There's also simple ways to lift each other up. This could be inviting colleagues to come to presentations or to speak, maybe doing a guest lecture for your organization or doing a training. Again, this just reinforces their expertise, and it also helps you to maintain a strong connection with the profession and with your network. And it also helps to just send a quick note or an email of appreciation to your colleagues. Again, this takes a little bit of time, but it goes a long way in your career, and it will also go a long way in theirs. Relationship building is so important, and I think we all know that. We wouldn't be in this profession if it weren't for our desire to do relationship building. But remember, it's just as important to have strong relationships with your colleagues as it is to have good relationships with your clients. So I hope these tips are helpful to you. And if you have any comments, please drop them in the comment section. And I look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you.